To find out more about today's guests' Craft Box Club, visit creativityfound.co.uk/craftboxclub.
I think the main catalyst, if you like, for getting into crafting really was crafting with my daughter and have the confidence that I could make something that was actually a really nice thing. And said, I really want to get people together to do something creative and that would be fun, wouldn't it? And I expected her to just go, come back when you thought about it a little bit more. I committed to starting the next year as being completely plastic free and taking on that challenge. And I was kind of terrified about whether I'd be able to make that work. It just makes the world a nicer place.
Hi, I'm Claire, founder of Open Stage Arts drama and singing classes for adults. For this podcast, I chat with people who have found or refound their creativity as adults. We'll explore their childhood experiences of the arts, discuss how they came to the artistic practices they now love, and consider the barriers they may have experienced between the two. We'll also explore what it is that people value and gain from their newfound artistic pursuits, and how their creative lives enrich their practical, necessary, everyday lives. Today I'm speaking with Adam Rowe, who enjoyed playing in bands as a youngster and, while studying geography at uni, spent much of his spare time performing. But music isn't where his creative aspirations lie now. Let's find out more. Oh, P.S. This episode was recorded in October 2021, so don't be confused when we talk about the autumn leaves later. Hi, Adam.
Hello. Hi, it's lovely to be here on your lovely podcast.
Thank you. Can you start by telling me about your creative enterprise and how you can help other people to get creative for themselves?
Of course. So I'm the founder of Craft Box Club, and that is a monthly subscription box. So people get a new craft to do every month, and it's video guided, and I'm very kind of hands-on with customers. So I love to help people out and give people kind of hints and tricks if they get stuck as well. So yeah, you can subscribe to Craft Box Club and get a different craft to try every month.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Okay, what about you? What were your early experiences of creativity like?
Yeah, so going a long way back, I was super into Lego when I was little. And I absolutely loved getting the kits and building the thing that was in the kit and then playing with it for a little bit, but then tearing it to pieces and seeing if I could create something completely different. It was usually my little brother that tore it to pieces, actually, as little brothers do. But yeah, then after that, I loved building just sort of any old random thing.
And what about experiences at school?
So growing up and going to school and then also at uni, I got much more into doing music. I've learned a few different instruments, but I really got into it when I started playing saxophone, and I stole my brother's bass and turned up in a number of random jazz bands at school, and then a little bit after school. And then through to university, the first thing that I did in Freshers Week was join a band there. And then I had my own band shortly after that, all the way through university. So writing our own songs and gigging in some really cool places.
Brilliant. So it was heavily music influenced then, your creativity as a younger person.
Yes, absolutely. And I come from quite a musical family. Basically, everybody in the family does something musical. The parents are in the choir. My brother's a composer. So there's lots of music around.
Brilliant. You studied geography at university. Why did you choose that subject and what were you hoping to do with it?
I chose geography for a few different reasons. One of the main reasons, I guess, was when I was, it was between 8 and 11. I was growing up in Bermuda, which I absolutely loved. I recommend it to anyone with sunshine and beaches. It was great. But yeah, one of the things there is that there's a lot of focus on the Weather Channel and all that kind of stuff on hurricanes, and I got kind of obsessed by by watching hurricanes and a bit of storm chasing and things like that. I guess it was just wanting to be outside, not so much stuck in and studying. That was my perception of it anyway.
And was that a realistic perception?
Well, I think that with any course at university, there's got to be a lot of reading and essay writing, which you can do in the field. But yeah, there was a fair bit of that. It was fairly realistic. I went to Southampton, and the New Forest was right there, so it was lovely to go out there and do some field work there. It was a bit less storm based, mainly involved wandering around lots of bogs in the rain. But it was nice to be out.
And how was your balance of doing your university work? And you said you did a lot of the band stuff there. Were you a good student, or were you more interested in the band stuff?
Well, the short answer there is I was more interested in the band stuff. I'm fairly good at being organised, so I got all of the stuff done. But I guess I didn't have the passion for going through the journal articles and writing the essays that I needed to. So it probably took a little bit of a toll against the band stuff. And I think it was just something that I couldn't believe the amount of it was small, but I still couldn't believe the amount of success that we had with this band of people who just met at uni. And I was writing songs and I had no idea what I was doing. Going back to being organized, actually, just because we were we were reliable, and we managed to send out the marketing packs and stuff like that to the various venues. We managed to get quite a lot of gigs just from being Southampton's most reliable bands.
I think that's going to play into our later discussions about Craft Box Club as well, a mix of the creativity and the reliableness and the organisation. I really like that. So what happened after uni then?
So after uni, I did a few sort of random geography jobs, but then ended up working in the city in insurance and doing catastrophe modelling.
Sounds amazing. What is catastrophe modelling?
So that's kind of going back to the interest in storms and storm chasing and things like that. So basically what it is that insurance companies have got to make sure that they've got enough money to be able to pay for the really bad things when they happen. A really big part of that is hurricanes in the US. It's also earthquakes and terrorism incidents and all that sort of stuff. So the job was modeling those big events and then saying, we need to hold this much money to make sure we can pay for the bad things when they happen.
Wow, sounds fascinating. Did you enjoy that? Was that challenging? Was it creative?
Yeah, it was great. It was certainly challenging. I think coming straight out of uni into doing that, there's a huge amount of jargon to try and work out. But I really loved the academic side of it. There were lectures all the time about new research that I could go to. And yeah, learning about the science behind all of those models was fantastic. And yeah, I learned a lot of new skills like programming and all about how the market worked. So yeah, the first few years of doing it, I really enjoyed
You said the first few years. What changed?
I had I guess it was almost a decade of having a really good time in the city, meeting lots of my friends now. But yeah, I guess it just became, as you sort of move up, it becomes more of a kind of managerial thing, more kind of IT based, where you're moving numbers around. And I like the creative side of developing new bits of software. I quite enjoy coding, and then there were loads of different types of data visualization that you could experiment with. So I tried to let my creativity kind of blossom on making the coolest looking graph, which was fun initially, but you can only go so far with that. Um, yeah, so it became a little bit less interesting, and then also various things happened that led to me suffering from a bit of depression. And then I also saw that happening to people around me, my peers and my friends. Really just getting stressed out about the working situation and burning out.
Okay, so how does that move to the Craft Box Club? Firstly, we've heard about music in your life, but we've not heard about crafting being a thing in your life so far. And you've gone from your geography degree to working places and getting to this catastrophe modelling, which then now isn't as exciting as it was and is a bit pressured. There must be something in between there, between that path and what we know now, which is Craft Box Co. So first of all, how did you come to crafting, perhaps?
There's always the odd sort of crafty, arty bit around, but I think the main catalyst, if you like, for getting into crafting really was crafting with my daughter. So we really started to craft together. I don't know, when she was quite early, like 1.5 or 2. We would play with Play-Doh and things like that, and then work up to doing making jewelry with beads, which we did again over the weekends, which was really good fun. But yeah, initially when I was crafting with my daughter when she was very young, we get all the stuff out and I absolutely love it and I get lost in it. And she'd just want to do it for a minute and then run off and do something else. And I just think, oh, come on, let's stay and do this for a few more hours, please. And yeah, it was just fun. And it took me back to the days of making Lego and just experimenting and going, oh, well, what if we put these two things together? What does that look like? And it was just great fun.
Yeah. How did you come to combine crafting and business and start the Craft Box Club?
Part of it was about getting some sort of freedom, moving away from the job that I didn't like, and also having a young daughter to look after. I had no real time in the day to do the sort of fun stuff and experiment apart from when I was playing crafting with her. So I found out about these guys called the Rebel Business School, and they were the pop-up business school at the time. So they popped up in Reading, and you go along for a week or so, and they teach you for free. They teach you all of the skills to start a business. So that's things like social media, marketing, and sales, and you get to experiment with a prototype for your product, and potentially trying to sell it at the business schools. And that was just absolutely a wonderful experience, and really kicked me off in the direction that I've got to now. And actually, the day before, the weekend before the course, I ended up meeting some people who'd been on the previous course. And they said, look, you've got to go to this course. It's fantastic. And we've done everything that they've said. And we've created this escape room business. And the way they did it was they'd started through the Reading Fringe Festival. So they went, oh, well, we'll introduce you to the person who puts together the Reading Fringe Festival. And you can just do something there to give it a try. And I sort of apprehensively went, okay, it's nice to meet people. We'll meet this person. So yeah, I met her the morning of the business course before I'd even really sorted out an idea, and said, oh, I really want to get people together to do something creative, and that would be fun, wouldn't it? And I expected her to just go, come back when you thought about it a little bit more. And she just went, that's great. Let's do something. Brilliant. Oh, you can host it in the escape room. You know these guys already. That's fantastic. So I sort of went, oh, right, okay, I really have to do something now. So yeah, over Christmas that year, we hosted something for the Fringe Festival, which was a scrap art challenge. So I got loads of bits of rubbish and random scrap art materials, and people had to come in and create the like head to head, had to create the best piece of art, and that was great fun.
That does sound great fun. I think that's often the way that you get thrown in at the deep end and you just have to do it. So well done.
Yes.
Creativityfound.co.uk is the place to go to find workshops, courses, supplies, kits and books to help you get creative. So if you're looking for your own creativity found experience, go have a browse to see what's on offer so far. And if you can help adults to find their new creative passion, please get in touch on social media or through the contact details on the website. You've talked about just that with the scrap art, which makes me think of, obviously, you describe your kits as eco craft kits. So how are they eco-friendly? Why is that important to you? How have you built that into the kits?
So I knew that I wanted to do something that was eco-friendly just from the start of doing it. What that meant, I wasn't sure, but I knew that I wanted it to be eco-friendly and wasn't going to damage the environment. And I started Craft Books Club by doing lots of different workshops, and some of them quite random, like the scrap art thing, and then some a bit more structured. And I started by trying to reuse plastic, because there's a whole load of plastic that you find in craft materials in general, even in the yarn and things like that, like hidden plastics. There's a lot of it. So I thought, like, I'm not going to be able to get around. It's too big a challenge to take on to be completely plastic free. Let me try and reuse things. And then just after doing that for a few months, it just really wasn't working out. It was quite hard to rewash paint bottles and things like that, and people would just throw them in the bin. So I just saw, even from a one night of workshop, all the waste that was created, and just thought, I can't be doing this anymore. This is not the way forward. So I committed to stopping the workshops a bit and then starting the next year as being completely plastic free and taking on that challenge. And I was kind of terrified about whether I'd be able to make that work, because it seemed like a big challenge and nobody's doing it at all. I shared the new box design with some friends, and it has a big plastic free stamp on it. And I bought like 1,000 boxes, and they went, wait, do you really want to commit to that? Is it, are you going to be able to do this? All of these kits plastic free. And I was like, if I can't do it, I don't want to do it. And actually, it's been great. I've not felt like it's been a limit at all, and if anything, a little bit of an inspiration. So all the kits for Craft Books Club, come plastic free. So that's the packaging, the tools, the materials, absolutely everything. We're also supporting a tree planting initiative in Reading. That's run by Ethical Reading. That's planting urban trees within Reading. So that really improves the environment, reduces urban pollution, and it helps to tackle climate change. Just makes the world a nicer place. Aside from that, there's other things that we do. So we use a printer for the leaflets in the boxes that uses a really efficient process. So it's like climate change positive, essentially. And then we also work with local suppliers. So I try and buy as much as possible of the kit from small businesses and local businesses as well.
That's brilliant. And I think that's really taking the work out of it for other people, but the people that buy these, they want to be able to buy those materials. And when you said about there being plastic in yarn, and it's kind of that kind of secret stuff that ordinary people who aren't putting in the effort that you're putting in, aren't putting in the research, wouldn't necessarily realize. So I think it's wonderful that they can come to you and know all the work that you've done has meant that this kit is completely plastic free, and it's doing so much good in all the possible ways that it can. So tell me about your process, because you design the kits and you actually make the things and you come up with the finished article. So tell me about your process of designing.
So this is really the reason for doing this, because I absolutely love learning new crafts and then going through the design process and making it all work with the tools and materials I can get hold of. At the moment, I'm trying to plan a few months ahead. I'll generally come up with a craft that I want to try. So a type of craft like needle felting or knitting or making crepe paper flowers or something that's coming in a few months. I'll basically just start to research that about 3 months out and try and find the most sustainable ways of doing that. So there's an awful lot of crafts that go straight to having a glue gun or something like that, and you have to go, oh well, let's find a different way of doing that. So you might be able to make something with origami that doesn't need glue. So yeah, I try and look at what I'm kind of aiming to create, Then I'll find the materials and the tools that are available. Then I'll start putting something together, and then once that's all put together, I'll make a video guide and do the final photos for the kit as well. So yeah, I'm kind of real time, just a little bit of ahead of the subscribers. I'm putting in the time to understand the materials and do the design and get myself up to a really good level of understanding that craft. So when the kits go out, I'm really invested in those designs. I feel like I'm really well positioned to help people that are learning it for the first time as well.
You've already touched on this, but do tell me in black and white terms, what can someone expect when they receive a kit?
So when you subscribe to Craftbox Club, you'll see the first kit that you're going to get. We send out kits every Friday. So, a lot of subscriptions will just be monthly. So you've got to be waiting around for ages before you get your thing. And with this, we want people to be excited about getting their kits and to get on and do them, because it's hard enough to find time for yourself and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, we make sure we get the kits out as quickly as possible. When the kits arrive, you get a lovely presentation box. Contained within that, then that's everything that you are going to need to create a craft project. So, for example, this month's kit is an autumn leaves garland. You get 2 different colours of salt dough mix, which come with earth paints, which I love earth paints. It's like powdered bits of earth that are different colours. So that's super sustainable. And you get 2 of these beautiful leaf stamps. So you can make really quite realistic looking salt dough leaves, and then the things to put the garland together. You've also got a little postcard in there which shows you what you're going to make and a few of the little top tips. Then that links to a video guide with step-by-step instructions and photos of what you're going to make. And at the bottom of that, there's like 5 to 10 minute in detail, but really easy to follow video guide that I make every month. And then there's a link at the bottom to help. So if people get stuck after all of that, fair enough. I've been stuck, and how do I thread a needle or something like that? People can reach out and book half an hour slots on the website with me, so I can just go through stuff in detail with them one-to-one.
Wow. Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely everything. I love the support afterwards if needs be. That's brilliant. And the lovely thing about this is that you can get it and you can do it in your own time and you can do it at home and you can experiment with different crafts and maybe touch upon something that you really, really like and you want to explore further.
Yeah, and I love it when people go. So a lot of people have reached out and gone, I love the needle felting box, for example. Where do I find this wool? Because it's quite hard to come by in a lot of craft places. So, I love sending people to my awesome suppliers and going, this is where you get the really good stuff. I love to support people afterwards and help them carry on a craft that they really love.
And it must be, therefore, a really good relationship, a kind of symbiotic relationship with the suppliers as well. You found them and you can help other people find those plastic free, eco friendly supplies. You obviously enjoy creating the kits, and I'm sure you have business skills from your previous career. Is there anything you have particularly struggled with in starting this creative business, or in fact in maintaining or developing it?
There's definitely skills carried over for sure, and knowing a bit of programming has really helped with doing things like having a database for orders, for example. Yeah, that's helped a lot. I guess there's 2 things. There's that actually doing the crafting. I wouldn't call it a struggle, but it's because I don't have a strong background in that area. I suppose I do now after a few years, but initially I hadn't. I haven't got a lot of a background in it, so it was harder initially to research and find the ideas and have the confidence that I could make something that was actually a really nice thing. To start with, I was just kind of messing around with materials and doing something that was a bit fun. But I've really moved on to things that I think I've got the designs all over the house now, and I'm really proud of the designs that I've come up with and then been able to make. initially, I guess, I struggled with the confidence in that area. And then, yeah, the other thing really is marketing. Absolutely no background in marketing, and it's I guess that's quite alien to a lot of new business owners. For me, it's just been a case of trying kind of everything to get the word out a little
Yeah.
bit. I've been working on doing PR for the last 3 or 4 months. I've had a fair bit of success in that area, which has been lovely, and kind of nice bit of validation as well. It's all about just trying new things all the time.
Yeah, I think a lot of my guests and people I've met along the way who have the creative, the artistic bent do struggle with the marketing side of things and kind of creating a persona, or a lot of the things that you're told about marketing that are creating a brand. It can be quite alien. And the other thing, as you say, you do just have to be in people's faces all the time.
Mm.
Just keep doing it and keep doing it. And it's worth it because the people need to see what you're doing, and it can take a long time for people to see or even register that they've seen what you've got. So we just keep pushing those kind of things. Can you tell me how the subscription works and how people can connect with you and connect obviously with the Craft Box Club?
Of course, you can buy a monthly subscription. So that's for yourself. So if you go to craftboxclub.com, then you can buy your monthly subscription there. That's a rolling subscription. You can also buy gift vouchers, which go towards a subscription. And they're not the sort of gift vouchers that run out straight away and are for kind of the wrong amount, so that you have a few pounds left over. So they're for a specific length of time of subscription. You can also buy past kits individually. But yeah, the main place to go is craftboxclub.com, and that will show you all the process for signing up.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Adam. It's been really lovely to hear your story and also how you're helping other people with these boxes. So thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. It's been lovely to talk through the story, and I love the podcast. It's great to be part of it.
Thank you. Creativity Found is an Open Stage Arts production. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please subscribe, rate and review. If you would like to contribute to future episodes, visit ko-fi.com/creativityfoundpodcast. If you contact any of the artists featured, sign up to their workshops or buy their products, don't forget to mention Creativity Found Podcast. On Instagram or Facebook, follow @Creativity Found Podcast, where you'll find photos of our contributors' artwork and be kept abreast of everything we're up to.